The International Day for Suicide Prevention is organized by the International Association for Suicide Prevention and co-sponsored by the World Health Organization and a few other organizations as well. The idea is to inculcate worldwide commitment and action towards suicide prevention. Suicide is when somebody takes their own life. There are about 5,000 suicides that happen every day in the world. Most of the suicides happen or are carried out by people in the age groups of 15 to 29. And men are more prone to suicide than women. Now, why do people commit suicide? Why do people take this great step of ending their lives, finishing everything in this life? What causes them to do that? Difficulties in relationships, poverty, losing a loved one, legal troubles, financial issues, bankruptcy are some of the reasons that cause people to commit suicide. Now, what is the psychology of a person who is about to commit suicide? What is happening to them is that the pain of dealing with that situation, the pain of facing that situation, or the pain of not being socially appropriate in either their financial dealings or their bankruptcy or their relationships, etc. And what will the world think of me? All this pain, the pain of being in that situation, that difficult situation, becomes unbearable for them without any escape route to look forward to. They're not able to find a way to come out of that situation. And they think that the situation is going to be there in their lives all the time and that they're worthless and they're not able to deal with that situation. So the best way to deal with that situation, to end the pain, is to end their life. And that's the only way out they see to come out of that unbearable pain. Severely depressed people are more prone to commit suicide. In that 1 week moment, when they are it becomes impossible for them to deal with, the emotions that are happening to them. And if they're surrounded by anything that can aid their suicide, they end up doing it. So when we see someone or when we are with someone who we find that they are severely depressed, dejected, and even fleetingly if they're mentioning about ending their lives, or thinking that, the world would be a much better place if I died, or, all these people would be so happy if I died, or all my troubles would be over if I died. And we see them talking like this, we see them purchasing lethal substances, we see them in a severely depressed state. If we see any of these signs, we must try our best to help them. We cannot leave such people alone. We have to show them and make them feel unconditionally loved. We're not here to judge them, judge their thoughts, or judge their situation, or tell them what they're thinking is wrong, or they should be able to deal with their situation in a better way. The degree of pain they are experiencing is really high. And what we need to do is to be unconditionally present for them and don't leave them alone until we get them professional help, until they are in the care of able practitioners who are going to be able to help them come out of that pain and come out of those suicidal thoughts. There's a lot of activities done by various organizations towards prevention of suicide, and to much success. There's a lot of work happening in different dimensions. There's an important dimension that we also need to encourage and make it flourish, is the spiritual dimension. So we also want to add spirituality to more and more people's lives, as that can be a very easy and supportive tool to deal with the difficulties that come up in our life. When people are connected with their spiritual essence, their eternal identity as spirit souls, part and parcel of God, in a loving relationship with Him, they are able to come out of the highs and lows, or they're able to deal better with the highs and lows, the valleys and the troughs of all that is happening in their lives. You know, with all these difficulties, at every moment, our identities are being challenged. Our identities as as employable person is being challenged, and our identity as, somebody able to have a good relationship is being challenged. Our identity to bring food on the table is being challenged. When people are going through all those difficulties and they're not able to handle those challenges, because those challenges are very difficult to overcome, and things are constantly changing and constantly attacking our identity. But through spirituality, when people are able to connect with a deeper identity, their eternal identity as spirit souls, part and parcel of God, they are not disturbed by the highs and lows that happen on the surface of the ocean. They're not thrown about by those waves. Rather, they're unaffected by all the waves happening on top. And when they're able to swim in that deeper current of knowing truly who they are and understanding their own eternality and the temporary nature of the world around them, they're less pained by what is happening around them. Well, you still have to deal with the situation, but it doesn't cause as much pain to you. On World Suicide Prevention Day, this is one aspect that we can also try to include in all the efforts, the wonderful efforts that are happening across the world towards suicide prevention. Every life is precious. Every life is completely loved by God. And every life has a purpose to fulfill, and every life has so much to contribute towards the betterment of this world. So let us all save lives through these various methods, and also by including spirituality in the lives of many, many more people. Thank you.